My name's Caleb, I'm the founder of LYTE Gaming. Today I'm going to walk you through the process a LYTE order goes through. So as soon as you place the order, the first thing that happens is it goes to the part pickers. So the part pickers pull up your order on the website. They then see all the parts and everything that went into it, and they print an order sheet. Then they go and they take one of these bins that's back here, and they pick up all of the parts and put them into that bin, as well as the printed order sheet. And it goes on top of a PC. They get the case, they get everything that goes into it. So as soon as everything's picked together, they will then take the full bin and the case, and they'll bring it over to one of the builders. So let's check out the build area. So once they have all the parts and it comes to the build areas, this is where everything really happens. So here's where we have the whole build team. They then get one of your orders and they will get the parts, the box, and everything to build it. They'll then build the entire system, cable manage it, make sure everything's functioning, and do an overall test and install Windows to make sure everything's good. This is where the majority of everything happens with building the PC and making sure it's on top of it, and these are the guys that make it happen. So after it gets done with the builders, it comes over to QC, or quality control. So from there, all the technicians, they go through the PC, they do another check, they pull up the order and the order details, and they compare that to what's in the actual PC to make sure, again, that all the parts are right. They then load a stress test onto the system. They usually do pass mark to double check that it's hitting the scores that it needs on all the components, hard drive, RAM, the CPU and GPU, to make sure everything passes and that there's no overheating issues. From there, they then take a picture of the front and the inside of the computer and take multiple different angles to make sure they can capture all the components, and then they actually add those pictures to the order details. So that way, if we ever need to refer back to what that customer specifically had, or if there's any questions about that customer's build, we can actually see the specific build that customer received. Once they have passed all of those tests, QC actually fills out a sheet that checks each individual thing that they looked at, and then they sign their name at the bottom. And each one of those is also attached to each PC to make sure that we know for a fact it was tested before it went out. So as soon as it gets done in QC and everything is passed, it then goes over to first pack. And so in first pack, what we do is we will take that PC, we'll actually put an expanding bag inside the computer to hold all the components together and make sure everything ships safely. And then there is foam that goes around the case that's fitted specifically to that case that comes with every case that we purchase. So after the PC has the bag inside and everything's closed up, we'll then put those form-fitted pieces of foam on it, and then it'll get packed into the case box. And then you'll see there's also kind of a bag that'll come with it that has a lot of power cord. If you order any Wi-Fi, if there's any additional things like extra power supply cables or manuals and things like that, that'll all end up going in that bag as well, which both gets put into the first box. So once a PC is single packed, it then goes over to be double packed. And so from there, what we'll do is we'll take that original case that already has that foam inside of it, and we'll put it in a bigger box with bubble wrap around that box. So there's two boxes, bubble wrap, then foam, then the expanding foam bag inside, to try to just make sure that we are guaranteeing that everything arrives safely. And we have a pretty good record of everything arriving pretty good. So, but that's what happens. It'll go into that double box. They'll then put that first single box within the double box with all that bubble wrap around it and close it up. Once the PC's been double boxed, it'll then be up to the warehouse manager to print the label. So before he prints the label, he'll actually do one final check over the order. He'll take a look at the pictures that QC took and compare that to the order notes to make sure that all the parts are right again. So it's kind of like the third check of everything, just to make sure that we know it's going out correct. And then once everything is checked correctly, he will then print the label and bring that label over to the already packed box and attach it. All right, so now once you have it labeled, the PC's been built, it's been packed, it's been double packed, it's been labeled. As soon as all that's happened, that labeled box then comes over to this pallet, which we then put that box onto all the pallets here. UPS then picks up these pallets twice a day, and they go to the UPS facility, which then gets shipped out and goes straight to you. So that's kind of the last step in the process. So that's the exact process that a LYTE PC goes through, from the order coming in to shipping out the door, but there's a lot more that happens here. So to start off, we've got Chris, who's the production manager. So he makes sure that all PCs are shipping out. He watches over some of the leads that are in the production process. He works with Kevin to make sure kind of inventory stuff is looking good. And if there's anything that needs to be picked up anywhere that we need help, Chris will jump in. Give him a wave, Chris. All right, then we got Kevin. So Kevin is in charge of everything with inventory. So he makes sure we have all the parts we need, everything's in stock, that we are consistently able to ship stuff. He works with suppliers, he tries to negotiate rates, he just kind of does everything inventory related to make sure that our supply we need inventory-wise is in stock. So that's Kevin. That's perfect. So that's the main stuff with the warehouse downstairs, but we have offices upstairs, and that's where all the office work happens. So as soon as we come up here, the first thing we got is my office. So this is where I do all my work. This is where most of my meetings happen. That's why I put the conference table in here, so that most of the meetings can just happen in here. Yeah. That's it. That's where things get done. So right next to me is Karina. Karina is the operations manager. So she's in charge of everything operations, improving systems, making sure everything is functioning smoothly. So she kind of is in charge of managing everything with Chris, who's the production manager, and then handling everything operations-wise, customer service, reports to her. And yeah, that's what she does. Take a close-up, take a close-up, take a close-up. All right, we also got Gabe. He's the designer, so he handles everything with website design, trying to come up with some of our still ads. I work with Gabe pretty regularly with all of our styling and things like that, but he's in charge of everything graphic design related. So a lot of the stills you see came from him. So the next thing we have then is the stream room. So we started streaming recently. It's mainly me and Chuck who's behind the camera. We're gonna kind of probably incorporate a little bit more different things we do with the stream room, but this is the stream room. We stream every Tuesday and Thursday, 6 p.m. sharp. So yeah, sharp. So catch us there. In the upstairs office, one of the main departments is customer service. So customer service is, we handle all of our customer service in-house. They handle live chat, emails, phones, everything's handled by this team here. So if you ever call in with any questions or any issues, this is who you'll talk to. Right across from customer service is the content creator. And you may notice he's not in there right now, that's because he's behind the camera. But he handles all the stuff for all of our content, our videos, any sort of gameplay reviews. You've probably seen him, his name's Chuck, and he's the one that handles all that. Right next to the content creator's office, we have our kind of picture room. So this is where we'll take any pictures of new systems. If there's any cool systems that we want to take pictures of for Instagram or any sort of social media. This is like the overall picture room. We'll do some videos in here too. And this is one of 5 bathrooms. We got 5 bathrooms here. That's kind of a quick picture of our Austin headquarters. So again, hopefully that showed you what to expect if you order a LYTE PC and the process that it kind of goes through. I mean, I want to thank you guys all for your support. It means a ton to us. We wouldn't be where we're at without you guys. We wouldn't be able to employ all these people. So thank you so much for supporting us throughout this whole process, and we look forward for years to come.